Okay, let's unpack this. So you shared this really interesting source with us. It's a transcript, right? From the signing of what's being called a historic Gaza peace plan.
That's right.
And our mission here for this deep dive is basically to pull out the key claims, maybe some surprising moments, and how the speaker described the main players involved.
Exactly. It's like a shortcut for you, the listener,
Hmm.
to get the framing and context just based on what's in this transcript.
We're really focusing on the language, the descriptions.
Yeah, it's an analysis of the rhetoric, you could say. We're looking at the big claims, the very personal takes on these world leaders.
Mhm.
Because the source, well, it's doing more than just describing an event.
Right. It feels like it's trying to set a whole new context for history and diplomacy.
That's a good way to put it.
And that starts immediately, doesn't it? The speaker calls the deal the granddaddy of them all. I mean, that sets the bar pretty high.
Extremely high. But then you get this time thing. It's almost confusing.
Yeah, explain that, because 1 minute it's taken, what, 500 years? Or maybe 3,000 years?
Right, suggesting it's this ancient, almost fated thing.
Yeah.
Hugely difficult.
But then, almost in the same breath, the claim is a 32-year conflict got sorted in about 1 hour.
Exactly, that jump from millennia to an hour.
Uh-huh.
That's really the core of the framing here, I think.
What's the point of that, do you think?
Well, it does two things, maybe. First, it says, look how historic this is. Thousands of years led to this.
Okay, validates the importance.
Right. But second, it screams modern efficiency, like the problem was ancient, sure, but we solved it instantly. It showcases this incredible decisiveness.
Almost superhuman ability to cut through it all.
Something like that. And it gets bigger still. The speaker connects this Gaza deal directly to global security.
Yeah, the question posed was, why is this so important? And the answer given was pretty stark.
It was. The source says the Middle East was often seen as the place where World War II would start.
Wow. So straightening out Gaza prevents World War II.
That's the implication presented. It really boosts the stakes, doesn't it? It's not just regional peace. It's framed as saving the world from catastrophe.
Which I guess justifies pulling out all the stops, diplomatically speaking.
Absolutely. It justifies the massive effort, the big names involved.
Okay, so if the stakes are that high, you'd expect a top-tier team. Let's look at the internal group credited with making it happen.
Yeah, the speaker was quite specific here, naming names. Steve Witt, Jared, Marco, Pete, General Kane, John Ratcliffe.
A whole list.
Right. Praise them as an amazing array of talent, good talent. Naming them like that really underlines, this wasn't simple. It took a lot of key people internally.
And they weren't just talented, according to the source. They were tackling something the speaker thought might be impossible.
Yes, that line is crucial. The speaker apparently thought this was probably going to be the toughest deal.
Why emphasize that?
Well, it's classic expectation setting, isn't it? If you say upfront, this was the hardest thing ever, incredibly complicated, and then you announce.
We did it in an hour.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It makes the success seem almost miraculous. It builds this narrative that, well, only this specific team under this leadership could possibly have pulled it off.
It's the perfect setup for celebrating the win. Okay, so if the internal team was this amazing talent tackling the toughest deal, what about the partners, the other countries involved?
It must have been equally crucial, right?
Yeah.
And the source gives these really vivid, almost character sketches of the leaders from 3 key nations. Very personalized.
Let's start with Qatar. The leader, Tamim. The praise there seems almost overwhelming.
It really is. Fantastic, unbelievable, great man, amazing leader, just piling it on.
And the core message, without you, this wouldn't have happened.
Underscoring his vital role. But then there's this interesting defensive note that creeps in.
What do you mean?
Well, the speaker felt the need to say Tamim wasn't getting a fair shake in the media, that people thought he was not a nice person.
Huh. Why bring that up at a peace signing?
It adds a layer, I think. Maybe it's sense of loyalty, like I see the real you, even if others don't. It suggests a special understanding, maybe valuing someone who operates effectively in a, quote, little tough neighborhood, despite criticism.
Okay, that makes sense. Adds a personal dimension. So moving from Qatar to Turkey and Erdogan, the tone shifts quite a bit here, doesn't it?
Oh, completely. It goes from that sort of sympathetic defense to pure appreciation of strength. Erdogan's called a tough cookie.
And the speaker explicitly says they prefer tough people over soft, easy ones.
Right. Which frames toughness itself as a virtue in these kinds of high-stakes negotiations. Like, you need that hardness to get a real deal done.
And the source goes further, talking about Turkey's military.
Yeah, this was quite specific, claiming Turkey has one of the most powerful armies actually in the world, and adding, It's much more powerful than he even lets known.
That's quite an assessment to drop into a peace ceremony speech.
It is. It's like signaling this deal isn't just words. It's backed by serious power, and we respect that power. Plus, there were claims about recent military successes, that Erdogan was winning them, and he did win them.
So, confidence in their military capability seems key. And what about Erdogan's personality, according to the source?
The description was interesting. He doesn't want any credits, just wants to be left alone, and crucially, never fails us. Reliability and potency, basically.
Okay, so Qatar indispensable, Turkey tough and reliable.
Yeah.
Then the third partner, Egypt, the host. Why Egypt?
Simply put, according to the source, they were chosen because they were very helpful.
And the praise for the Egyptian leader, also pretty high.
Just as high. Great leader, fantastic man, and specifically noted as a fantastic general.
Right, emphasizing the military background again.
Exactly. And then there are these other interesting details thrown in about Egypt itself.
Like what?
Like the claim that Egypt has very little crime, suggesting stability. But even more strikingly, the source calls Egypt the oldest civilization 6,000 years, apparently beating China's 5,000.
Okay, wait. Why get into comparing ancient civilization timelines at a Gaza peace deal signing?
It's about adding weight, isn't it? Historical legitimacy. Hosting this monumental deal in the, quote, oldest civilization gives it this sense of deep, timeless significance. Like history itself approves.
Ancient history meets modern deal-making. And there was a personal story too, right? About meeting the Egyptian leader?
Yes, quite a specific anecdote. It supposedly happened back during the campaign against crooked Hillary Clinton.
Okay.
The speaker claimed they hit it off immediately, had great chemistry, and the result? Apparently, Clinton was kept waiting for maybe an hour and a half.
Just to get a 2-minute meeting.
That's the story told in the source.
And the point of sharing that.
It seems pretty clear, right? It contrasts the speaker's strong personal connection with the perceived lack of connection from the political rival. It suggests this deal happened because of that early, powerful chemistry, something the old guard couldn't achieve. It paints personal relationships as the ultimate diplomatic tool.
Got it. Okay, before we broaden out, there was also a quick thank you to Italy, wasn't there?
Yeah, just a brief mention. Italy's ruler was thanked, described as she's a very strong ruler. He's doing a great job. Bit mixed on the pronoun maybe, but the intent was acknowledging wider support.
Okay. So we've got these individual portraits. Now, let's shift to the group. The source spends time describing all the leaders gathered there for the signing, sitting behind the speaker.
Yeah, and what's fascinating here is how they're described collectively. It's all about superlatives of success and influence.
Like what?
They're called the greatest leaders, the most powerful leaders, and very explicitly the richest leaders in the world.
Wow. So power and money. The source even claimed there was more money and power sitting behind us than ever before in one place.
It's a deliberate showcase, isn't it? Not just diplomacy, but a demonstration of concentrated global clout, financial and political.
And the seating arrangement itself was highlighted.
Right. The speaker pointed out it was a unique situation, that these leaders were sitting behind us, and crucially, that they'd never been sitting behind anybody before.
That's not subtle. That physical positioning is making a statement about who's in charge, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's symbolic hierarchy. Placing these usually dominant figures behind the speaker signals, look who's leading this now. It implies a shift in the global pecking order, established right there.
Spot on. So you have this display of incredible power, this potentially impossible deal, but the process itself.
Described as incredibly smooth, the source says the deal took off like a rocket ship.
A rocket ship.
Yeah, and that everyone was happy about it like never before. It apparently amazed everyone. Nobody could even believe it.
So maximum difficulty advertised beforehand, but then minimum friction in actually getting it done.
Exactly. Which, again, implicitly credits the team, the leadership, that chemistry we talked about.
Yeah.
It's the ultimate testament to their perceived effectiveness.
Okay, final section then. The comments about the media covering the event. This seemed unusual.
It was definitely notable. There was actual praise. The speaker thanked the media, said they were being so respectful, fair, treated the deal with tremendous respect.
Why the sudden change of heart, according to the source?
Because, the speaker concluded, the media know the importance of the deal. That understanding apparently made the coverage pleasant to watch.
But that compliment came with a condition, didn't it?
It did. Almost immediately, the speaker pivoted, saying they wished for that same respectful coverage on other things.
There it is.
Yeah. But adding that was perhaps too much to ask for. The subtext seems to be, you only respect us when you get how big this is. Usually you're unfairly antagonistic because you don't understand the importance of what we do.
Right. Which leads directly to the planned next steps mentioned in the source. After the signing, a public speech was planned.
But right after that public part, the speaker made it clear they'd be meeting with those powerful leaders again, this time without the media,
Why?
to discuss some things. That's all the source says.
Hmm. Which really raises a big question for you, the listener, as you think about this material. What exactly were those some things? What needed to be discussed privately, away from the cameras, just moments after this supposedly complete historic public agreement?
That's the lingering question, isn't it?
Definitely. So to wrap up, we've really dug into the claims around this signing. We've seen the descriptions of the key partners, Qatar, Turkey, Egypt, each painted with these unique characteristics.
Yeah, from the indispensable friend to the tough but reliable ally to the historically significant host, all apparently united to get Gaza straightened out.
And we've seen the emphasis on the internal team, the speed, the power dynamics, the personal chemistry.
And that constant thread of historical validation, framing this as the solution to a problem thousands of years in the making.
And throughout it all, that recurring theme, the leaders gathered were the richest and most powerful.
Right. So building on everything we've heard from the source material, here's a final thought for you to consider. Given that heavy, repeated emphasis on wealth and power, that more money and power was assembled than ever before, how might those specific attributes, that sheer leverage, have played a role in supposedly solving a 3,000-year-old problem?
What does it imply about modern peace deals?
Exactly. What might that focus tell us about what's now seen as necessary, perhaps, to end long-standing conflicts today? Is that kind of concentrated wealth and power now considered a prerequisite? Something to think about.